And I'm Rory. I'm with Benchmark Media Systems out of Syracuse, New York, and we're here at the Home Entertainment Show at Newport Beach, showing our latest generation of DAC2 Dacs, D-to-A converters, as well as a reference preamplifier. Both the DAC2D and the DAC HGC for hybrid gain control. The DAC2 HGC adjusts digital volume in the digital domain and adjusts analog in the analog domain. Both of these units will accept up to 24,192 on the USB as well as in the coax input. They both will play back DSD for those who have DSD downloads and would like to be able to enjoy those. In addition, we give word length and sample rate indication. So if you're playing a 24-bit file, 192, you know it is. Helps you adjust your software because a lot of mistakes can be made in the software settings. You click one box on a 16-bit and it's going to do all kinds of things. Or a 24-192 might get downsampled to 44.1, and that's not what you're looking for. We also include a headphone amplifier. Unlike many headphone amplifiers, ours is a 0-ohm output, which is what you'll find in a power amplifier. A 0-ohm output will control the driver, will give you great damping factor. You haven't heard headphone listening unless you've tried a benchmark DAC with a headphone amplifier. All of our DACs, by the way, include a headphone amplifier, and we have from our DAC1 series to our DAC2 series. Now the nice thing about the DAC2, the newest thing is we're using the new ESS Sabre chip. We found that after using our other one for the DAC1 series for a number of years, which has been the true benchmark in DACs, we're now into the next generation. We think this is the next 10 years in DAC performance. In fact, the performance of this unit will outperform basically any preamplifier or power amplifier. In addition, as far as features go, we have Polarity Invert. This does a complete polarity inversion on both left and right channel. There are some people who are sensitive to polarity, and there are known to be a number of discs, of CDs, which have been issued in reverse polarity. So now someone can sit back with their remote control and make that adjustment. On the back side, and I'll show you the differences between the DAC2 HGC and the DAC2D, which is our latest one. What we have done is we have dropped the analog inputs on the DAC2D. We had a number of customers who said to us, you know, I'd love to get one, but I don't have any analog sources. It's all digital. So we brought this unit out, and it sells for a little bit less. Starting over here, these are our outputs. We have 3 sets of analog outputs. You wouldn't find this on a regular preamplifier. Usually at the most you find 2. We have 2 sets of unbalanced and we have 1 set of balanced. And then as far as the inputs, we have 2 sets of stereo inputs for analog, so if you're playing an FM tuner or if you want to incorporate a turntable in this, you can also do that, coming from a phono preamp stage. 2 coax digital in, 2 optical in, USB, and 12-volt trigger. So now you can use this to start up an amplifier or the rest of your system. It'll power it up and power it down. Going up to the DAC2D, as I said, we've dropped the analog inputs. We've also dropped the 12-volt trigger. The DAC2 HGC, 1995. The DAC2D, 1795. We manufacture them in Syracuse, New York, made in USA, 5-year parts and labor warranty. Both the DAC2 and DAC2 HGC, here we have the power button. You can either hit it once for a standby, which means in about 4 minutes all the LEDs will go out and you'll be in a standby mode. It's still using a little bit of power. Or you can hit the power button twice and it'll complete shutdown. Over here we have the dim mute button for muting the entire signal, or dim would be a lower level. Let's say, for instance, you're listening at a higher level of music and you want to carry on a conversation, or maybe you're running your television through this, you hit the dim button on the remote or on the face panel, it'll bring it down to a lower level so you can carry on conversation. The polarity button is for that polarity invert that I mentioned. Both channels reverse polarity. Can be done on the front panel or on the remote control. Input selection, your 2 analog inputs, USB, and then D1 through D4, all your digital indicators. And you toggle the input by these 2 buttons here. And then HT for that home theater bypass or high throughput. Over here we have the sample rate and word length indication. 24 or 16-bit, 44, 48, 2x and 4x would be your multiples of 44 or 48 to give you 88, 96, 176, and 192. If the top 2, the 4x and the 2x are illuminated, that means you're playing a DSD file. Now you can create a playlist on your computer and you can be mixing DSD and 24-bit and 16-bit, and as you're going through on your computer software program, this will automatically switch for you. And then here we have our two headphone inputs and volume control. Both of these units have what we call H.T. H.T. throughput. It can stand for home theater bypass, or it can stand for high throughput. What this allows you to do is to incorporate the HGC model into a home theater setup. You have one room for your home theater, but yet you want to have the best stereo playback possible. You can put the HGC model between your preprocessor or AVR and your main stereo amplifier. On the DAC2D, that becomes a high throughput, which would just give you a fixed output level like you'd have from a CD player. So for the guy who insists on keeping his preamplifier, he can take this out as a fixed level from the DAC2D or the DAC2 HGC and go right into his preamplifier. In addition, both of these units have full function remote control. All of the inputs can be selected from remote control, as well as mute button, volume, and on and off.